What is up, everybody? Dan the Fireman here. What we're going to be doing is going over the UK Module 1 testing exercises to get you ready for your testing process over there in the UK. So what we're going to be doing today is exercise 1. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and park into a spot, maneuver the bike into another spot, doing it safely and making sure that we pass that portion. I have a camera right over there focusing on the parking spots. And yes, this is pretty self-explanatory, but there are some quick little tips and tricks that I will explain on the way. So typically what you're going to be doing is you're going to be pulling into the exercise area. Now, this is not your typical UK Module 1 exercise area, because what they do is they have this really open area to do all this stuff. As you notice, I have trees and a bunch of debris, all these different things that can play a hazard, so it's going to be way more open. But you guys don't have access to a nice open training center to practice and train around before you actually take the test. So if you can find a parking spot with at least 3 parking spots, you could do this exercise. And like all the other exercises I'm going to be doing in this video series, it's going to be in this parking lot, so we can use as much as we possibly can of a free resource to take our test. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go ahead and get into the first portion in the first spot. And like I said, in the testing area, there's going to be these green cones or these boxes that you need to get into depending on where you're taking the test. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So right here, I have parking spot 1, 2, and 3. So this is 1 right here, 2 right there, 3 right there. So let's go ahead and shut this off. And when we park, we want to look around, look at the ground before we set the kickstand down, make sure we're in a good spot. We need to practice like we actually do it. And that's actually something that you need to focus on when you're taking the test. They actually look for you doing head checks, turn signals, all these different things, just like you were out on the road, but you need to do it in the testing process. I heard, I don't know because I don't live in the UK, but I heard that they actually can fail you for not doing proper best practices while you're going from exercise to the next exercise. So right here, we need to back this out, go past this, into that one. Now that's typically what's going to happen on the UK test, is that you're going to have a box, a space between the box, and another box you need to go into, okay? All right, so now we're going to go ahead and do the process. So you can either be in neutral or you can be in first gear. If you're going to be in first gear, make sure you pull in the clutch lever. That way it lets you move the bike. If you're not, it's going to be stuck. Okay, so before we head out, we got to make sure everything's good. So I'm going to go ahead and lift the bike up, looking around, looking where I want to go. Okay, cool. I'm going to do the side stand. And now I'm going to walk it. Now I'm going to go ahead and walk it this way in a nice overarching motion. So right now we're just going straight, but now we need to turn the handlebars. See how the handlebars are turned? Now the bike is turning. Goal is to find that balance point so that you could do this. Now that we're straight, and I got to pass this one right here, I'm going to go and straighten it out. And then I'm also going to now turn it when I'm ready to go in. So I'm turning, I'm looking where I want to go. As long as I'm between those boxes or this parking space, this is perfect training, okay? So now that I'm here, I'm going to look where I want to, see if there's anything, make sure there's no debris, set the side stand down, function, stand next to the bike, and be ready for the next exercise. You want to be ready for the next exercise, understand the next process, and we're going to be going over that whole thing in this video series. But here's the tip and trick, okay? Let me reset. We're going in, looking where we want to go. Feet are good. Go ahead and engine shut-off switch, turn off the key. I'm going to go ahead and put the side stand down, make sure everything's good. Dismount appropriately. Be ready. You notice how now I am in this parking spot, but nosed in compared to that parking spot. So when you are moving your bike, it's almost always easier for that curvature of the bike to be close to your body. When I did it the other way, when I was curving it, I was having to be on the outside of the bike. That makes it a little bit more stressful because the weight's wanting to go that way. So now what we're doing is I'm gonna be on the inside of the curvature, and this is that tip. So now what you can do is ask your tester, which box should I go into? Do you want me to go on the right or the left? And if they're like, it doesn't matter, just pick one. Pick the right side, and this is why. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead, look where we wanna go, make sure everything's good. Side stand, very good. We're gonna back out, and unlike the other side, instead of turning it this way to go that way, you see how the bike wants to move away from me? Since I'm in the right portion, the weight is on me, so now I can control it a little bit better. So now the weight's on me, so if it starts to dip during this turn, I can push away from my body and keep the bike upright. So still, once again, look where you want to go. Now that I'm in the straightaway part, I'm going to straighten the handlebars just a little bit. And now with the arc that I feel comfortable with, go ahead and back it into the spot. So this is what you have to do, part of module 1. There we go, perfect. Now, before I set it down, I'm gonna look, do exaggerated poses. I'm looking, you know, do that. The reason why you wanna do that is it's gonna be an indication to the instructor that you know what you're doing. If you just do it, they don't really understand because they're not in your head. So say it, do it, exaggerate it. This is something that I would do when I was doing firefighter training. Like I would have to open up a hydrant. Instead of just doing it, not talking, part of the testing process is, okay, opening up the stem, opening up the large diameter hose portion, all these different things, okay? Make sure you do that. That is part 1. Let's jump into the next one. Handlebars, move the side stand. Once again, balance. We gotta keep the handlebars straight. It's all about balance.
But
Shuffle.
I don't have great balance.
Okay. And that's all we do with that. So now it's your turn.